Yo, what up? And welcome to Straight from the Stands, the Tailgate, an extension to a regular podcast where we get you hyped and ready for the game. I am your host, Smarts, alongside the always angry Angel, the instigating George, and the man with some facts, Masa. This is the Tailgate.
Yo, what up, guys?
Thought you had epilepsy. I was like, what the fuck's happening? What up? What up?
I thought you had Tourette's, like some guy we know.
What up, man? This is the Tailgate. So we're going to get right into it, not bullshit too much, so we get out of here pretty quick.
Tim, I just want to tell everybody I was eating cookies, so I'm having some carbs today.
Cheat day or what?
No, just I haven't had a single carb. I'm telling you, like I legit now need to save my carbs only for cookies. So I don't have a single carb during the day. So
No shit.
like at work, I didn't go grab lunch, but they have turkey now and shit like that they bring every now and then when they have Costco runs. So there was like turkey slices with cheese and with some celery sticks, and I cut some tomatoes and I wrapped them up, and I had like little turkey, wraps, turkey wraps, I guess.
Nice.
And that's what I had for lunch. Then I had my protein shake right here and cookies.
With that being said, this is another episode of Angel's Health. Oh, no, we're not doing that. All right, boys, let's get into it. News. I guess the only news that we have is really relating this upcoming game, right? People is apparently...
It's people, isn't it?
Yeah, it's people.
Yeah, it's people. It's
People apparently is still waiting some kind of paperwork.
Donald Trump.
Let's talk about this for a second, right? COG had a theory with what's my man? The guy from IS Sports,
John Rojas.
John Rojas. So he had a theory with him that he's probably not the paperwork because he couldn't be practicing or he couldn't be whatever. He had a theory about this, right? Which makes sense.
Can he come into the country without
a
having
visa?
a work visa?
No, you can't.
That's what I'm saying, right?
No, right?
So what they were saying makes sense.
No.
And I think furthermore, now that we're hearing the news that he might not play tomorrow, or he might not have his paperwork, quote unquote. I'm doing air quotes for you guys not watching the video. I think I buy into that a little bit more, right? I think.
I don't.
Question though, if you're Giancarlo and you know that your paperwork's good, how do you feel?
Doesn't matter. So
Does it? Does it matter?
I don't think it does, right? I think you've been in the team in a week. You've been in the team for a week. Practice maybe 5 days. And the coach says, I'm still not ready to put you out there. You could be upset because you feel like you're ready to play, but you also can't get overboard because you've only been here for about a week and a half. My opinion.
Look, I'm obviously I don't know much about him other than what we've seen, but based on what I've seen in terms of the interviews they made him, especially like the one where they asked him about Bologna and the Galaxy, he says no, I'm going back to Italy, right? He kept it very professional, and it seems like even his last couple games with Bologna, when the rumor started, that he was always like, based on what I read. And by no means I didn't go down the rabbit hole with this one like I did with the Philly beat writer. But you know, again, from what I saw, oh boy, looks like he's a professional, right? And he gets shit. So I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get butthurt and everything. He gets it. Like I think he gets it legit. Like, all right, this is what's happening. This is why I'm on the bench, or I'm not even gonna be 18. I get it. It's cool with me.
Masa, you legit think he just doesn't have his paperwork, and that's why we're playing?
Not to.
Well, I like theory hunting sometimes, so I'm gonna buy into this one, and personally, I think that might be the case.
Because that was the same thing with
dude. Nah, but it has to.
Wait,
Polenta.
But do they have the work visa already because of the Gold Cups being in the U.S.?
You know, he might have a visa already.
He does
right?
have a visa already.
Yeah,
it's like
so
when
he should be good.
Polenta was training with the team for like 2 weeks before we even saw him.
Huh. Okay.
Same situation.
No,
but regardless, in anything, it doesn't matter what profession you're in. You still have to go through some type of, legal processing. You can't just show up in the country and say, hey, I'm here to work. Doesn't matter if it's soccer. Doesn't matter if it's an IT. Like, we deal with shit regularly in IT. It's the same shit. You can't just someone has to sponsor you. There has to be a bunch of shit around it. I mean, unless you do it the way the Latinos do it and, we cross the border illegally, but that's a different story. So, well, you know what? It could be the case for him. No, I don't know.
Even at that, right? We talk about visas. He needs a working visa, not a visiting visa, right? He can have a visiting visa, which I'm sure is what they obtained to come play or whatever. But since he's going to be employed by the LA Galaxy, he needs a working visa. All right, regardless, that's just some kind of what I heard from COG that made sense to me, and with him not playing,
That makes a lot of sense to me, though.
So we should. It's still not confirmed that he's not going to be in the 18, but we're hearing from God, his name Rojas. What's his first name?
John
Rojas.
John Rojas.
That he might not even make the 18, but it's still a possibility that he does. So now coming into this game, we're not going to have Fulcher because Fulcher is another thing. He's not going to be ready for Friday. And he might be doubtful for next Wednesday. Let's stick to Friday's game. He's out, right? He's out. So coming into this game, let's talk lineups right now. Pretty safe to say that, with the exception of Felcher's absence, the lineup stays the same, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
What do you plug in?
Yeah, that was going to be the follow-up.
Julian.
Yeah.
Who?
Julian Araujo.
I don't know because I think Houston's attacking is a little bit powerful, right? They have
fast.
speed and power.
They're more fast.
It's fast, but Araujo's fast too.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. You're gonna plug him in, bro. Who else are you gonna put there?
That's a question.
I see Dave Romney.
Hell no.
Okay. We'll get to our lineups.
Well, yeah. Well, let's get to the lineups. That's where we're at. I also think it's going to be Araujo, but I'm not super confident in saying that. Right? Just because it's what I feel is going to be a good game with a currently strong team. Has GBS and the staff seen enough from him to say we trust you to go into the game? So my lineup stays the same. Felcher obviously being out with injury. I think Araujo comes in and steps in. What you got, George?
I think my lineup stays the same as well. I want to say Araujo, based on GBS. I think he's not going to change everything, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Dave Romney as right back.
So you calling Araujo?
I'm calling Araujo, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dave Romney is a backup. Yeah.
Angel, got anything to say after you finish your milk?
Same. It's not my milk, dog. It's my protein shake.
Oh, protein shake. I'm sorry, guy.
And hold on, let me bite into my cookie right quick. No, same exact lineup. The only thing is gonna be Araujo.
Yes. Okay. So I think we're all kind of inclining into Araujo, and Masa, you already say your case that you want Araujo there. So that'd be interesting. That's gonna be interesting. Well, on the last episode we ended up talking about he didn't really get tested. Coming to the starting lineup with a team that has pace like Houston does, that's gonna be interesting. Let's talk a little bit about Houston. Houston's coming in hot, right? They also won the last 4, and they drew before that. So right now they have 5 wins, 1 draw. That's not a bad team. They have 12 goals and conceded 6. So which is 1 more than we have. We have 11
similar
goals.
to ours.
1 goal. Well, yeah, 11 goals scored, 6 conceded. So they have +1 over us. But those are stats, right? I know I saw some of the Houston game and then the highlights of the Houston versus San Jose game this past weekend. Masa, you saw the whole game. Angel, you saw some of that game, and plus you've seen some other Houston games. Here's my take. I think this team is more dynamic than many of the teams that we played against so far.
Define what you mean by dynamic.
They don't have a single way of playing. Like, they move a lot more, right? Their attacks come at you differently. It's not just they defend the wings or, close down the middle. I think they have, from what I've seen, they have a lot more dynamic to their movement. And correct me wrong, I think you guys might have seen more of them for you guys to talk about it. But my take from that, from the highlights that I seen, from the goals that they scored, they seem like they scored from different directions, different attacks.
I mean, I've seen their games, but I've never been like critical on their games and like, hey, I'm paying attention to how Houston is playing and things of that nature. So I'm gonna go with what I remember from the games that I watched. From the games that I recall, I mean, I saw the San Jose one, I saw the Dynamo one.
Dynamo.
I mean the Dynamo one. Sorry, the one against the Rapids, I think it was. Can't remember which other one. I saw another one, but one thing that stands out to me, they played teams that let's go down the teams that they played. Right, they played Real Salt Lake.
Mm-hmm.
They played Tigres twice, which as we know, they lost, but one of them was only 1-0, the other one was still 0. I'm gonna call those outliers.
Yeah,
because you're playing a different level opponent. You're
stepping up to different.
Yeah, like the adrenaline comes in, like it's just different personality. Like, so take that out of the equation, okay? But RSL 1-1, Houston Dynamo and Montreal Impact 2-1, Dynamo and Whitecaps 3-2, Dynamo and Rapids 4-1, Dynamo and Earthquakes 2-1.
Yeah, they haven't really played. Go for it. I'm sorry.
Well, what I was going to say, from the games that I've watched too, they've never even been the dominant team per se. Like, damn, Houston is, taking care of business. Like it's like, like even the 4-1 against the Rapids, I saw that game, and that one to me, I felt, Rapids were at home, they had chances, they missed it. Houston just, if I recall, I think like 2 of those were in quick spurts. Houston to me, I mean, maybe this is a bias in me, right, that I don't really pay attention to other teams and how they play, but I've seen them, I think, enough to tell you, like, look, they have pace. They're really fast. They have Manotas that plays really well. They have Albert Elise that plays well. Yeah. These guys are good. They're fast, but even then, I don't really see him being cohesive for a team, like saying, hey, this team's going to control me, or this team has one way of playing. I think you're kind of right in terms of, like, they have different styles of playing. Yeah, I think they adapt to the team they're playing, but every team that they play so far has not been quality team. They've been bad teams, right? And so far, I think the team that's been the better of those was RSL, and they got a tie from that one, right? So if we're going to go based on what I've seen and all that stuff, I'm really not impressed with this Houston team. And again, it's not like they were miles better than any of the teams that they played. I mean, you heard the score, like, they were one goal different. They were like 1 goal difference, and they conceded a goal in every single game.
Yeah, listen, like I said, you guys probably don't see more than I have, but you have to give some credit to having 4 victories down the line, 4 victories in a row, and only a draw in between that. They're doing something right to get those victories, no matter who the opponent is. Because I think at the same, play devil's advocate, you could say the same about the opponents we faced. Masa, George, you guys have any thoughts on the Houston team?
No, I agree 100% with Angel. I watched the game against San Jose, all of it, and I would say throughout most of the game, San Jose dominated that game.
You know what? So
they started winning, right? And I think they trying to remember exactly how it happened. Either that, or I remember a couple of things happened. They didn't.
They had a chance, but they didn't.
They missed the penalty.
They missed a penalty, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Houston missed the penalty.
Houston missed the penalty.
Yeah, Houston missed the penalty, right? So maybe it could have been slightly different. But like Masa said, I still remember San Jose being a better team in that game.
Yeah. And defensively, I don't think Houston is good.
I don't think so either.
I think they have a leaky defense, and I think that we're going to exploit that.
Well, they do have a body at least, right? They have what's it?
Minor
Figueroa, who's sizable, and again, I don't think it stops.
But they play
I don't think there's anybody. Oh, do they play him out wide?
Yeah.
No. Minor Figueroa is he's their center back.
Really? I thought it was the other guy, that German guy with the beard. And some
Lundqvist or whatever his name is?
Yeah, that guy.
Let me tell you right now. I
could be wrong, though.
Let me pull it up.
You might be right, though. I just remember Minor.
So, based on the last 3 games, it's their back line has been the same by the looks of it. It's been De La Garza right back, Struna center back, Figueroa center back, and Lundqvist left back.
Oh, you're right. There you go.
George, you got any thoughts on Houston?
Not really thoughts. I think the matchup that I'm going to be seeing is going to be interesting for me is Antuna and De La Garza on the left.
Oh, yeah, they are matching up, huh?
Yeah. Other than that, I agree with what's been said.
Okay. So let's get into how we see this match going. What should the Galaxy do? What do we need to be aware of? What do we need to, how can we hurt them? And what to do to avoid them hurting us?
Honestly, for me, I think the speed is number one. I think when with manitas, whenever
Manotas.
let me see, manitas.
So you're saying the speed in their end?
Yeah, the speed on their end. No, speed on their end. I think if we play our game, we'll be fine. As long as we stop their threats and stop them quick instead of having us drop all the way back is key. A lot of this game, I think, like you said, they have a lot of styles, and their styles, the fact that they have a lot of styles, are going to be lost into what they want to bring to the table. I don't think they're going to find the right identity for this game. The Galaxy are going to, for the most part, I think, dominate a lot of this game. This I honestly think is going to be a one-sided game.
Interesting. Angel, Master?
Yeah, I agree with George. I think all we got to do is put a body on Manotas because he's strong. I think Polenta can handle that. And I think as long as they don't let Albert Ellis cut down in the middle and take a shot, if they just let him go to the wing and put in a cross, because his crossing is not that great and his shooting is not that great. He's just super fast and he could take a player one-on-one. But as long as they push him towards the wing, I think we'll be all right. And I think the midfield is a lock. I think we have the best midfield in the league, so I'm not worried about the midfield. And I'm not really worried about their speed because I think we could manage, but Albert Ellis is too quick. But I think we just push him out wide. We'll be
That's
fine.
what we said about Darwin Quintero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I
And I think that
He
miles.
did it well.
I think that Quintero's miles ahead better than Albert Ellis.
Yeah, I agree with you, but he doesn't. Darwin plays in the middle. He's a cam.
You know what I say about that too? I think at least does move better without the ball though, right? Which is where I think he causes problems. Like Quintero is good when he has the ball in the space. He's gonna take it. He's gonna run right at you. While at least moves well without the ball. So I'll bring up my concern, and it goes really based on the last goal they scored against San Jose. And again, is the movement off the ball. I seen at least start outright, drop off to Manotas, and then make a run behind defenders to get back into the middle. Obviously, Manotas laced off a nice pass down the middle that opened up the defense. So all that to say, I could see our defense collapsing on a play like that.
You know what's crazy? I think the person that I think is more critical about them ball watching is Felcher, and he's not in this game. Personally, I think that out of the four in the defense in the back, if we had to worry about someone looking at the ball instead of the player, I think it'll be Felcher. And
So you know what? My concern is not even ball watching. My concern is being over aggressive. So
stepping up.
But Polenta's one that likes to chase, right? And that's what I'm scared of, right? Like if whoever's playing down the middle drifts wide and Polenta rushes up to meet him and tries to attack. And it breaks the shape of the defense. That's what I'm scared of. I think that if they attack that way, where they intentionally are pulling one of the center backs out.
Hopefully we're in a
That's
position.
gonna happen though. I mean,
What happened? Well, that's what
we've seen.
Yeah,
from the Galaxy.
Yeah,
you think
yes.
that's
So that's what I'm saying. I give my reason because I think Polenta likes to. He's overly aggressive at times.
But with that being said, I think the midfield's there.
But every time that he does chase or whatever, he hardly ever loses.
No.
I don't remember
No. See, that's just you being in love with Polenta, which is fine. I'm in love with him. I do too. But yeah, he does chase a lot of times. And the thing is, like, counter that with speed with somebody else who had speed running in is where I think we get caught up. But I think
that
I
would
think
be
George,
down to the wings, though, because
no. I don't even think it's down. I said I don't think the problem's gonna be down the wings, because if it's down the wings, then I think Steris and both Polenta cover the middle. Like, you know what I mean? They cover gaps in the middle when they're pushing down the middle. I'm thinking start middle, drift wide, and then hit back in the middle. That's what I'm thinking. But I think, George, you hit it right on the head. That's where our midfield comes in, and I think our midfield, if anything, has shown that they do that. You know what I mean? They don't give a lot of time to breathe. So I think you're right. I think Jonah, obviously, like he has the whole season, he's going to play a big part in this game too, both in the recovery end and in distributing to ball go up. Hopefully this game will have Legit playing at the next level, in a different level, some kind of level.
I think this game is important for him just because I personally think Jonah is going to have a lot of work to do. Not as far as helping out, but I think being a presence where what you said isn't a problem where we need Polenta to step up because there's a play coming down the midfield where there's no one contesting the player.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know what? Given the way Jonah's playing, I think what I'm concerned about is gonna rely on Jonah doing what Jonah does. So I agree with that. All right, so now let's switch it up. How do we hurt them? How do we get the victory this game? Is it Zlatan ball? Do we see something different? What do you guys think?
I'm excited to see Mano Figueroa and Zlatan.
That's what I called that out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think there's any defender in MLS that could deal with Zlatan.
Yeah, but still, Mano Figueroa is the type of player. I think if he can't stop it, he's about to cleach in the face.
He
Maybe.
will. Hands down.
But so I think it's going to be a big game for our wings, especially and Legit and Drini, I think, need to step up this game.
Antuna too, though. Let's not sugarcoat the young kid. You know what I mean? I get it. He's young.
Alessandrini did good though.
Yeah,
I think
he's.
it's going to be a better game
bad.
this year.
I'm not saying he's doing bad.
Step up how?
Step up. Score your goal.
Okay, so you want to see him score. You want to see him
take shots, score your goal.
Listen, the trajectory he's been in for the last 2 games. 3 games, right? The last 3 games, we've seen him improving. So yeah, maybe we do get an end product this game around. I don't think we necessarily need him to score for us to get a result this game. I do, even more than scoring, I want to see him get an assist. You know what I mean? I want to see him connect with Zlatan and get that going, because I think that once Alessandrini and Zlatan start going and playing off of each other and them scoring goals as a 1-2, it's gonna be nasty. But how do we do it? What are we looking for? I know you said wings, so we're looking for more Zlatan ball. Is that what we're saying?
No, wings to connect. Alessandrini cutting in, shooting. Alessandrini cutting in, passing to Legit, and hopefully Legit has some space. Whether to worried to have, obviously it's obvious that they're going to have bodies in Zlatan. So hopefully that meaning Legit has enough space to either take a step forward and take a shot, or take a step forward and dish off to Joe Benny or something. Yeah. But I think we'll get into predictions, but I don't think Zlatan scores this game.
Angel, who's your player to watch? Who are you looking for in this game to be an outlier, to be the difference maker?
Legit.
Yeah. You're looking for him to step up this game?
He has to. Like, people have been giving Alessandrini so much shit, but we've seen improvements. I thought he was fine last game compared to how some people were saying Drini out, but
George.
I'm not here. And a whole bunch of other people. But I'm not hearing anyone complain about Legit. I get that Legit's not a DP player, but he's still getting paid pretty well, if I'm not mistaken.
What's his salary?
I don't know. It has to be high, and he's one of the cornerstone players.
Remember, we acquired him from West Ham United.
Yep. He's one of the faces of the team. You know what I mean? So I agree. There should be some level of responsibility.
Well, yeah, and on top, that's the other thing. Like, I can see him being one of the more tenured players at some point in the future, that he's been around for a while, and he might even be captain one day. Like, who knows, right? What can happen down the line? But to me, he's not doing shit.
Yeah.
Other than playing it safe, playing the ball back, again, I mentioned this last time, right? 50-50. Take a chance sometimes, and even if it misses, you have people that are going to back you up back there. Like, trust your DMs, trust your backline. Shit, trust David Bingham. If you make a mistake, but if you don't take your chances, then what's the point of you playing Cam?
Yeah, we're not creating anything. We don't take chances. So I agree. Masa, you got a different player you're focusing on this game, or you're siding with
Seba. Seba, but I feel like after that screaming Zlatan gave him and GBS saying that they need to go forward at all times, regardless of the score, regardless of the situation, I think that we're going to see that from the Jet this upcoming game.
All right. You can't be mad if my boy takes Joshy shots. You know, when those games where Joshy took like 38 shots?
Hey, I've been calling for shots from the midfield, players, right? So I want him to do that. I'll stick to that. I want to see our midfield getting into attacking positions, and this most definitely like the center midfield. I want to see Antuna, I want to see Leggett, but definitely Corona and Leggett, and maybe if Jonah gets a chance, not necessarily need Jonah to be shooting because I want him to be in the plug, connecting defense to the midfield. But definitely Leggett. Would like to see Corona because I think he has a foot on him. He could get them shots out too. Should we do some predictions? Let's go predictions. Who
wants to go first?
I'll go first.
I'll go first.
All right, go first. Let's go first.
I got 4-2 Galaxy.
Scoring.
2 Zlatan, 1 Leggett, 1 Drini. That's my prediction.
I got 3-1 Galaxy. I have 2 Drini and 1 Leggett.
Angel, you going?
I say 4-1 Galaxy. Hat trick Zlatan and could say Daniel Steres gets one.
Ooh.
4-1 you said?
Yeah, 4-1. Yeah.
4-1 and then own goal David Bingham.
Stupid. I'm gonna go for a trifecta and I'm gonna say 2-0. Goals from Zlatan. Another brace from Zlatan.
Both?
Yep, another brace from Zlatan.
Cool.
Yeah. You know what? So
I don't think we're gonna give Houston shit. I think we're gonna come out pressing from the beginning, and we're gonna control the game from the very beginning, based on the ending of last game. You know, as of right now, I was able to catch all the podcasts. The only one I haven't been able to listen to yet was Riot's podcast. So I watched that. I hear that one. I actually even heard the Nagnans. I heard everyone's this time.
They didn't drop one.
They didn't drop one.
Well, yeah, but the one that they did on Sunday night.
Oh yeah,
their recap. Yeah, but it's now on. Like you can hear the shit now on on
Spotify, iTunes.
Well, I do. iTunes. I listen to it on iTunes. But it seems to be the consensus with everyone across the board. And if it was obvious by other respective, Galaxy content providers and social media about both halves, the first and second being as it is, I'm sure that GBS and both GBSs saw GBS squared saw it, right? Do you guys agree?
GBS squared. No, I agree. Yeah. I agree definitely.
Yeah. I think that they're going to come hot from the beginning, and they're not going to stop. They're going to keep that pace, that intensity all game. And if it doesn't happen, I imagine someone's ass is going to get lit really bad either at halftime or after that game, regardless of the scoreline. Even if we win like 4-1, if it's 4-1 in the first half, but if we relax the second, I'm imagining it's still going to be the same thing. So that's my opinion.
So you know what? Coming into this podcast, I was a little more worried about this game. I was a little more worried about how this game might go. In conversation, kind of debunked that theory, and I feel a lot more confident talking to you, smartasses, about this game because I think Georgia hit it with like I was worried about defense, but I forgot how dope our midfield is, and I think they'll back us up a lot there. Going forward, I'm not scared of them. And listen, I'm sure we can get some goals. I don't think there's a team that can stop us from scoring. So yeah, I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling confident. I think we'll win this. I don't think it'll be a blowout like the 4-1s that we heard, but I think we'll definitely get a win.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, me too. I guarantee it.
All right, let's wrap this up. We got any last minute ACB plugs, Angel?
Tailgate starts 3 hours before. There's gonna be pizza. There's gonna be beer. Make it out if you can.
Games at 8. Remember?
Yeah, games at 8.
When does the tickets go down?
Ticket link already went down, but if you're hearing this Friday sometime in the morning or early afternoon, shoot us a message on the Straight from the Stands account or on the ACB account. We'll see if we can still get access to some tickets through the FO, because I don't think it's going to be a sellout. But from what I've gathered and so far from what I saw, the tickets that came through the ACB account here on our shits here that Antonio runs, seems like a lot of people bought tickets. So I wouldn't be surprised if 121 was close to sell out.
I bought a couple of them. Nice. So yeah, it's gonna be dope. It's Friday, so most of us don't. Well, hopefully most of you guys don't have to work Saturday. Make it out. It's gonna be fun. Anything else before we wrap it up? No, that's it. Cool. All right, cool. Don't forget to like, share, retweet, listen to this motherfucker one time, send it out to one of your friends, listen to it again on the way to the game, and let's go. Let's get that victory. With that being said, this is another episode of The Tailgate. I'm your boy Rudy at Iron Smarts on Twitter, Iron Smarts on the gram.
This is George, Undefeated7.
Angelito at DavidAF96.
Peace, love, and G's up. G's up. Clippers in 6.